right. So your CV is your brand statement. It is talking about your brand. Your CV also helps you to network. And like I mentioned earlier, your CV is about the current you. So if you have a profile picture, for instance, or anything around your CV, you must always update it as the case may be. Now let's move to the next item. Oh, sorry, to the next slide. Now, when your CV gets to the recruiter or it gets to the prospective employer, what are the odds or what are the chances that your CV will get an interest? What are the odds? What are the chances that your CV will not just be skipped by? Remember, I mentioned earlier, an employer has placed an advert and they want to employ just one person and 20 applicants that are qualified. Because most times when you get CVs, a lot of the people who supply their CV or who put in their CV are qualified. They have the qualification, they have the skill, they have the competencies, they have the certificate that fits for that role. But out of 20, it's only one person that the employer will be moving up with at the end of the day. So what are the odds or what are the chances that your CV will get the interest of the recruiter or of the employer? So let me pause a little again and listen to input. So what do you think? If your CV gets to an employer, what are some of the things that will make the employer take an interest to say, okay, let me spend some time to review this CV. Let me spend some time to look through this CV. I have only 15 minutes to do this CV session, and I have 20 CVs before me. What are the chances that I will spend 5 out of that 20 minutes on a particular CV? And what are the chances that I will just look at one CV and just move on without wasting time, without even spending a second on it? So please unmute and speak to me. What are the odds and what are the chances? Quickly. Anyone wants to contribute? What are the chances that, or what are the positives that you will see in a CV that will make an employer or a recruiter spend some time on your CV? Yes, someone is speaking. Jennifer, please go ahead. Thank you. Please hold on. Please hold on. Jennifer, you can speak. Quickly, quickly. Okay, I think Jennifer stopped speaking. Oluwasegun, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, basically from your CV, the person wants to see the content. What can you add? What value can you add? What value can you add to the recruiter? Okay. What are your experiences? What experiences have you gathered so far that you want he or she to recruit you to their company or organization?
Okay. So what value?
So your, sir?
Go ahead, go ahead.
So your human relationship, how can you lead? What are the things that you have that others don't have, that you can present to the recruiter that you are fit for this job you are looking for? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Oluwasegun. So what values, what skills, what human relation, what competencies can you bring to the organization? Those are the things that the recruiter wants to see. Fantastic. Any other person? Jennifer, are you able to speak now, or any other person that wants to add to this quickly? let's talk about the odds. What are the odds? What are the things that will just make the recruiter or the person reviewing the CV just quickly move on without wasting time on that particular CV? All right, that's the reason why we are here, because don't forget again, I'm saying, or like I've mentioned earlier, the main objective why we are having this session is for you to have an understanding of why you are putting up your CV in the first place. It is very essential and very important that we have that at the back of our mind. We're going to review some CVs in the next session. We're going to see a couple of things in that stuff that gives you more details. But it is very important that you understand the reason, that you understand the why. Because if you have a good hang of that, then all the other things we'll be talking about will be making more meaning to you as we go on. Now, what are the odds? What are the chances that your CV will get the attention of the recruiter and he will spend some time in reviewing your CV out of the lot? The first thing I will talk about is introduction. I mentioned that earlier. Anytime I pick a CV, by the way, the bulk of what I do, if I'm not having a session like this, is I'm running recruitment for different organizations. And like I've alluded earlier, I come across hundreds and thousands of CVs for every recruitment project, or for many recruitment projects, let me use that word. And because there's a volume of work that needs to be done, essentially, and there's a limited time that I need to put into that process, there are a couple of things that are very important that I'm looking out for anytime I pick a CV. So the most important thing is an introduction. Remember, I talked about your values earlier. What are your values? What is it about you? So if I pick your CV, the first thing I'm looking at is your introduction. I'm looking at how is this person fit for the role that we are discussing. I've picked CVs where there are errors in the name, typographic errors in the name of the person. That may sound very petty, but that is the situation that happens sometimes, especially when people don't pay attention. Remember, I say your CV is you. So your name, email addresses, contact phone number, and possibly a quick introduction, which I've captured there, your career focus, quickly tells me about you as an individual. And essentially, just after that, I look at the skill set that you have. Are they relevant? So if I just look at this first segment of the CV and it is not relevant to what I'm looking at for that role, I will just move on quickly. Don't forget, we are talking about why you are crafting a CV in the first place. You must have that at the back of your mind. So the introduction is very key, very important. The introduction is what gets me interested in looking further. The introduction is what gets me interested in looking at your experience. The introduction is what gets me interested in even going to look at the school you have attended, the certificates that you have. So if you have had 100 certifications, 50 degrees and all of that, but the introduction to your CV does not interest me, I will not get to that point of your CV. So, gentlemen and ladies on this call, it is very important that when you are crafting your CV, when you are putting your CV forward, the first thing first, a very concise introduction is very important. It's very important. All right. Let's move on to the next item, conscious of time. The other thing is clarity and realistic expectations. Clarity and realistic expectations. Now, I have an expectation for the role, and I am matching the CV that I'm looking at with those expectations. Is there a match? So if your experience, if your education, if your certificates and all of that does not align, or I can't see it, or I don't have that information, or it is not clear enough, the way you have crafted it, the way you have written it, then chances are I may not get the nudge to continue to review your CV or to continue to look at that CV and to move on. So chances are the odds against such a CV will be rising up and the person will just move on, or the recruiter will just move on to the next person. But if you craft a clear and realistic expectation that meets the expectation of the reviewer, of the recruiter, of the employer, of the manager, then chances are he will spend more time and look at that CV and begin to see, is there a match? So it is important that whatever you are putting on your CV in terms of your biodata after your introduction, they are very clear, they are concise, and they clearly outline what will interest the recruiter in the course of the discussion. I'm not going to waste too much time here because we're going to do a more deep dive. We're going to look at a couple of examples of CV in the next session. However, let me move to the next item, which is also very, very important. We mentioned that earlier, your experiences. Now, you've done a brilliant introduction, and I'm excited about your CV. You've done a brilliant work around clarity of your background, your qualifications, and all of that. Then I want to look at your experience. I want to look at some of the things you have done in the past. I want to look at how does your competencies, your experience, how does it fit the role I'm looking to employ for. Let me mention this at this point. And don't forget, please put this at the back of your mind. Why are you writing your CV in the first place? That is what all this session is all about. It is not about how you have written the CV. It is not about what the CV is. It is the reason why you are making up the CV. Now, the reason why you are writing your CV is because you want that CV to help the employer to see that you can solve a problem. The reason why you are putting your CV together is to help the recruiter to see that you have the capacity to solve the problem that the organization wants to solve. Because anytime an organization is recruiting somebody into a role, irrespective of what the role is, the expectation is anybody coming into that job is coming to solve a problem for the organization. And that now takes us to the point where I now begin to look at your competencies, your achievements in the past, your skills, your capability. What can you bring to the table? Now, let me pause, because I know a lot of us on this call, maybe you are just leaving school, maybe you are still in school, maybe you are just looking up to get your first job and all of that. You may say, I don't have all the skills, I don't have all the experience. So where do I get experience for? Again, it depends on the type of job, it depends on the level of the job. Even for entry-level jobs, your first job and all of that, the employer will expect that you have some competencies that you are bringing, either from school, either from some internship that you have done in the past, either from some project that you have done in the past, either from some assignment that you have been involved in the past. So everybody, irrespective of your level of your layer, you have some achievement, you have some competencies that you want to bring to the table. So this must be clearly outlined. Let me take, for instance, you are applying for a graduate trainee program. It doesn't require any experience. But in school, you have been the head of class in school. You have been in a committee in school. Back at home, you have handled some projects in your community where you are. Those are enough for you to be able to say, these are the insights that I have had. These are the experiences that I've had. And you can build a case or you can build a profile around that to bring that to fore, so that the employer can be interested to know that, oh, this person meets the criteria that we are looking for them to fill. So it's very important that your CV must be able to clearly outline what stands you out. What experiences, what skills, what competencies do you have that you are bringing to the table? Now, there are other details that you also need to add to your CV. And you see that I'm just doing this top line for two reasons. The next session will be taking a much more deeper dive into clear examples of how you put all of these bits and pieces together. For also some of us maybe on this call who have registered for the graduate development program that we advertised, and which we'll be telling you a little bit more about earlier, we'll be spending a lot of time doing this exercise together, looking at all of those particular details of how it particularly relates to you as an individual. But some other important details that you also need to look at or to look out for to add on your CV, which is very important, is if you've attended some trainings in the past, it's also very important that you mention it. Remember, your CV is about you. So you, again, you are telling your employer about your interests, your hobbies, the kind of person that you are, your personality, and all of that. It is also important that you will be able to highlight or mention one or two things about your interest, mention one or two things about your hobbies, possibly also mention one or two things about your aspirations. Remember, it's all about you. It's about who you are now. It's about who you want to be in the future. It's about the things that interest you. So maybe you also want to talk about your aspiration. This is what excites me. This is what interests me. This is what ticks me on. This is what I'm looking at to do in the future and all of that. All of those things are the things that builds up the chances for your resume, for your CV to be able to stand out of the loads and loads of CVs that the employer will have the responsibility to look through. Let me pause at this point and also just share one or two experiences. Way back, and this is from several years back, we needed to get graduate trainees, and I think we're looking out for, if I'm not mistaken, about 30 or 35 graduate trainees for a particular organization where I used to work. Then we put up adverts in the newspapers, we put up adverts in the different medias to young graduates, youth corpers, people just finishing their youth service and all of that, people with 1 or 2 maximum years of experience to advertise for, to submit their resumes for this role. And at the end of the day, we got quite a number of CVs. I want somebody to guess how many CVs you think we got, because we placed these adverts in newspapers, national dailies, all across the country and all of that, and we receive CVs from everywhere. Can somebody just do a guess of how many CVs we received? Anyone?
Okay. Good morning. Like 100 plus.
100. Wow.
Thousands.
1,000. Yes.
Thousands.
Yes. How many? Still far from it. The person that mentioned 100, very, very far from it. Yes. Any other person want to guess?
25.
25. Okay. Because of time, we got over 10,000 CVs. Over 10,000 CVs. And we're looking for just 35. We're looking for 35 persons for this position or for this role, for this organization. Entry level, graduate trainees, not so much experience, you're just leaving school. What we just need is you're qualified, you have finished your degree, you have this class of degree, no particular discipline and all of that, because it was an open graduate training program. We got over 10,000 CVs. Now, just tell me, out of 10,000 CVs, immediately you just open a particular CV and you just move on. Because out of 10,000, you have a lot, you have a pool, you have a great pool that you want to work with. So I tie this back again, and that's the reason, the why of why you must work on your CV, the reason why you must have a concise CV, the reason why you must pay attention to your CV, because your CV is 1 out of 10,000 CVs in that particular instance that I mentioned. Your CV could be 1 out of 20, it could be 1 out of 100, it could be 1 out of 1,000,000, it could be 1 out of 1,000. What will make your CV stand out is what we are talking about, and it is the reason why we are having this session. As I begin to round up, as we move into the second session, remember I talked earlier that I will just be talking about the highlight. I will pause for 1 or 2 questions, but I want to mention at this point that we will be having, I'm sure some of us, especially for those who are looking at entry level, for most of us on this call, who are the entry level session, one of the sessions where we'll be spending a lot of time at the graduate development program for those who register or for those who joined, or those who will be joining, is your CV. We'll be spending a lot of time looking at your CV, looking at interview questions, looking at how do you ace interviews and all of that. We usually spend about half a day or more than half a day in that session. It's very important that if you are in this category on this call, and possibly you'll be joining us for that session, we'll be spending much more time on that session as we move on. But let me pause at this point and just take 1 or 2 questions before I fully round up. Does anybody have a question around what I have shared this morning? The most important thing: how, what, and why. And I've laid a lot of emphasis on why are you writing your CV in the first place. The reason why you are writing your CV, as a lot of people have mentioned, is you want to get a spot when you want to get it on the map when you are on the spot. You want your CV to get the attention of the recruiter. You want your CV to get the attention of the interviewer. Very, very important, at least so that you can have a foot in the door. So does anybody have any question before I round up on this session and hand over to the next facilitator. Any question? We've already exceeded the time for this session. I was supposed to spend 45 minutes. Does anybody have any question? Any immediate question?
Yeah, sir.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
Yeah, a normal standard CV should be how many pages, according to what you said, sir?
I know those questions will come, and my usual response to this is, so some employers or some recruiters will tell you precisely, I want a 1-page. Some person will tell you, I need a 2-page and all of that. If that specifications are not given, if those specifications are not made by the employer, it's usually left to you crafting the CV to be able to know how many pages and all of that. But again, it depends on the kind of job. So if, for instance, can you mute your line and just listen? Thank you. If, for instance, we are taking entry level, at that point, maybe a 1 or 2 page will just be adequate, because at that point, I'm not expecting to see loads of experiences. I'm not expecting to see loads of maybe projects and all of that you have handled. I just want to see clarity around who Oluwasegun is, your qualification, your core competence, 1 or 2 things that highlight you. So maybe 1 page, 2 page can be great for that. But as you continue to move up, as you continue to do more, maybe when you are now applying for a higher position, a leadership position, a managerial position, then I want to begin to see your competencies as a manager, your capability as a manager, the project you have handled in the past and all of that, then you can begin to add some more pages to it. So in summary, my answer to this is, what is the intent for that particular CV that you are writing? Are there clear guidelines that say make this in 1 page? If not, what is the expectation? Is it an entry-level job? Is it a place where I need to showcase a lot of experience and all of that? If not, just go straight to the point. A 1 or 2 page will do the magic. Thank you. All right, on this note, just kicking off the session for today, I will be handing over to the next facilitator that will be taking us into more details around the CV review session. I hope we've been able to get 1 or 2 value from the first session this morning. Thank you for your time.
All right. Morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. All right, so we are going to do a quick exercise to start with, just to know an average of where and who we are speaking to. So the examples would be relevant. I believe you can see my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you are like, if you are in either of this category, can you drop the relevant emoji? You will see the emojis in the reaction for on your Zoom tool. Just if you are a recent graduate or just about 2 years or less, please drop the thumbs up emoji. And if you are more experienced, then please drop. Fantastic. I think we can see some of those emojis that's showing. So Abidemi, let me see. So Abidemi, you are an experienced person. Fantastic. Folake, you're recent. It will be recent. Abdul Aziz, recent. All right, so we're still waiting for a few more so that this reaction is okay. I can see this, but it's not one of the icons I want you to drop as it's a reaction. So drop it. We only have 4 people. So are we assuming that there are more recent graduates than experienced hands on the call? Because of examples that are relevant, I would like to have 2 more. The people doing reactions, don't use the reaction, use it as a message. I mean, don't just drop it as a message. That's what we want. I think 2 people already did like a reaction. That's Julius and Ulufunke Kemzi. No, go and use the drop the information directly as a message. Yours is coming in different. Fantastic. Oluwaseo, your experience. Okay, so we sort of have a balance at this point. I have like 3, 4 people that are experienced. Okay, I have about 2 years experience. Can I drop yeah, go ahead. I mean, if you have the experience, the idea is if you're fresh, so I'm going to assume that Al-Arif, you are experienced. Good, great. So we are not just talking to people that are fantastic. So there's a second example. Thank you all for your quick response. That was very engaging. The next assignments that we have very quickly, where there's going to be a poll of CVs. Well, you are going to do a poll of a CV. Now, I would be sharing, you will observe the A, B, C, D, E CVs that will be shown on the screen very shortly. And as we show it, just take a look and then you'll be able to, so you tell me, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, what can you see?
A
Oluwada-
Okay, so that is showing, that's supposed to be showing A, right? Oluwadamilare. I have scrolled down, I'm scrolling down now. Just take note of it. That's Oluwadamilare A. When the poll is ready in the Zoom chat, I will let you know. We're setting it up. This is B. Can you see B? CVB.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the name that you can see?
Olaitan.
Olaitan. Good. I don't know if, because these are some of the CVs that you shared, but what we've tried to do is just to at least keep some privacy for the owners of the CVs, so you don't get to have the complete information. But these are real CVs that require to be reviewed. So this is CV2B. I think then CVC. What's the name of CVC?
Olufolake.
Folake, fantastic, thank you. So also take note of CVC. As we'll go to CVD, what's the name on CVD?
John.
Okay, fantastic. I'm glad you can see my screen very well. And this is CVD. Okay, and then CVE. What can you see?
Prince.
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 Okay, so if this is Prince, that makes our 5 CV that is up for review. Once the poll is set up on the Zoom. We will come back to it. I will show you one more time so that we can then run the poll on each of the CV without so much experience. Now imagine you were recruiters and all these people are sort of interested in the same job. Just by look already, I'm sure some of you would take time, not that you will not take, you will not look at it, but some of you would take more time trying to, first of all, quickly look at what one has to offer over the other one. So once that is ready, I will let you know. So let's go back quickly to our presentation for the day. And because we've done a lot from at the beginning, talking about the elements of CV, a lot of what is on the slides is already covered. But what's going to happen is, so I hope you can see my CV, my screen rather.
Yes.
All right. So the important, I mean, CVs have been discussed, why you need CVs and all that. Now, what's the importance of CV? We said a lot at the first session, the first impression, which we just took a look about 5 CVs. Now, I'm sure one of them have made an impression on you, 1 or 2. I don't want to ask you offline. I actually want to document your feedback. That's why I want to take it as a poll for everyone on this session. But if we are not able to do that eventually, then I will get your feedback across each of the CVs. Now, the second thing is, it's a showcase of your qualification, certainly, and you have to. So when we are applying for jobs, remember that you don't know how many people are applying. And like the first example was in the first session, for a role at times, you can have as much as 1,000 CVs. So nowadays, there is something called the applicant tracking system, which is a bot or a software, but not all organizations have such in place. So it's still human beings that have to do the sorting, and they go through a lot. So you want to give yourself an edge. Now, what are the key sections that you have to have on your CV that you don't have to miss? There is a lot at times we've come across CV. I think when we did the physical CV session last week, for those that were here, there was a CV that we were reviewing and there was no phone number. Now, in a country that's like Nigeria, where phone numbers are so important, you don't want to miss that. Yes, maybe if you're in another country, you can hear, if you go online and you listen to some YouTube channels and all that, they will give you things that are relevant to the states or the countries that they operate in or on international level. But when it comes to Nigeria, your contact information is very key. Please don't miss it. Phone numbers are the most guaranteed. Emails are good, certainly, and you have to have it there, your email, your phone number, and even if possible, your LinkedIn address. Your LinkedIn address, you can or you may not have it. Of course, you have to put if you're in Lagos or in, when you put the address, it just gives the recruiter an idea of where you're coming from. But if you don't want to put your full address, nowadays, people are a bit more, we are more lenient when it comes to address. So you will check the experience you have and your skills over and above your address. But your phone number, your email, you must not miss. Your educational qualification is also very key, and your work experience. Those are the first elements of your CV. Others are your skills. So for example, a lot of people that are fresh graduates, that are young graduates, have acquired some skills in school, like digital skills, even though you may not have worked with it. You have learned, you have done stuff, you have volunteered, you have done leadership roles, you have managed teams, managed projects. Those are skills that you can put on your CV beyond your work experience. Or you've been in the media, you've been on media projects, you can handle a camera, you can handle video recordings. Those are additional skills. You have the strength of language. So maybe you can speak French. You can, those are amazing skills that can always come in handy for on your CV. When it comes to your summary, so especially for experienced people, you can put a paragraph to indicate the summary of your experience so far. When you are also an experienced person, it's expected that you have professional membership. So your professional membership is expected to be, you can list it, you can showcase it. When you have experience, it is expected that you belong to professional bodies. If you don't have experience yet, it is excusable, but you can work towards something. So those certifications and stuff like that, especially the sector that you want to play. So in this case, actually, it's not the key, but the key to your CV. I think a small error in the section. It's not the key section, but it's almost like the to-dos for your CV. The length of your CV is subject, it's been addressed. So you can have a one page. You can have a one page. There's nothing wrong with it, especially when you don't have experience. You don't have to lie. And in some CVs, in some roles, they can say send a one-page CV. And that's where you have to be creative. Even when you have experience, there are templates that helps you summarize your length of experience into one page. If you're looking for the job, you have to try and follow the rules. But you can also have a 10-page CV. I remember when we had the fiscal session, we were talking about if you wanted to review the CV of the World Bank president, for example, Ms. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, do you think her CV will be one? Maybe it's just her profile. The summary of her profile will be one page. She will have a detailed resume, you know, or the Central Bank of Nigeria governor. Before it would have been, assuming they were going to shortlist them and do all that, you will have what you have achieved in different areas where you have been in leadership positions. So a page or two, and it is allowed for you to have different CVs for different jobs. We will talk about that shortly. So you can, it's subject to the kind of job you are looking for. Then fonts, your fonts have to be friendly. If you are if you want to come up with your CV, some of the CVs that are friendly, that are easy to read, they're like Arial, Calibri, Cambria, Times New Roman, and so on. But if you are in the graphics or the creative industry, people still want to read what you have to say. So don't go and be overtly using fonts like cursive or stylized. It might just be a put off for the recruiter. When you get inside, you can then showcase your dexterity and your abilities. These are some of the font styles that you can use, and you can keep your text, your font text between 10 and 12. They are fine, they are easy to read. Then don't make the mistake of going with errors. Don't let there be abundance of errors on your CV. You must, as a matter of detail, if this is who you are, if this represents you, then you should pay attention to details. Don't let your character, your fonts be flying everywhere. You are using 10 somewhere, you're using 15 somewhere. You are not, your heading is not distinguished from your, those are things that are not, it's so bad that some people's names even have errors. You can imagine. So that's not good enough. You should be able to do some due diligence on your CV. Some common mistakes that has happened in the past on CVs. So like we said, typos, errors, they are not something you want to show off on your CV. You want to show off quantifiable achievements, especially those that have it. So if you've got the achievements, if you got achievements, be able to showcase the achievements that you have. Use some terminologies that will help. Don't put irrelevant information. Your uncle was the father of the president in 1920. Try and be concise as much as possible. Whatever you are writing, let it be relevant and avoid repetition. Then inconsistent formatting. These are some of the platforms where you can see some templates when it comes to CVs. So when you go to your Word, as if you want to open a new document, you will see CV templates, which you can then edit and use. We also have templates that can always be shared. I think we, on request, we can share some of those, some of the CV templates. We have a WhatsApp group, which I think one of the team members will drop the link. If you are interested, you can join the WhatsApp group. And from there, from time to time, we drop in relevant information that is necessary for growth as per your HR development, trainings that we do. Some of these resource, some of the links are dropped on that group from time to time. I think some people have joined, and if you are not joining, if you are interested, of course, it's a growing community. So we're just coming up with it after the Lagos Career Fair. So the Google Docs, once it is dropped, I would like to be informed as one of the team members. If you have dropped the WhatsApp group link, please let me know. Just mention that you have dropped it on the WhatsApp chat so I can relate to the members that they can go ahead and join the link if they choose to. So like I said, on Canva, you can see resume templates. On Word, on Google Docs, you can see resume templates, and so on and so forth. These are some of the templates that can be used. For your job description, especially specifically, some make the mistake of not doing some things right. So yes, you can make mistake with your names, you shouldn't, you know it, your educational, but when it comes to your job description or your achievements or your work experience, you must, as much as possible, showcase what you have achieved. So for jobs that you have left, you cannot be talking about your job description. It's more of what you did. You were responsible for, you did this, you did that, you managed this. But for your current role, then you can talk about job descriptions and even what you have achieved as well. Then you can, of course, tailor your role to. So at times, many people function in different parts. So when you're looking for a particular job, you can tailor your CV to suit that role. You can't always have a CV that one size fits all, especially when you are experienced and you are interested in a job. You shouldn't always have one CV that is one size fits all. You try to have a CV that suits the requests. Okay, I think the link has been dropped. Let me just confirm. The link, okay, yeah, thank you, John. So the link has been dropped by John Yakubu. Those are, that's a link, like I said, to the Fastract Academy WhatsApp growing community. We'll share on this call as well, but these materials will be shared. So just to support some of us. So at times we don't know how to create some of the roles we do. These are some of the terms that you can use when you're part of a project. You can use some action words like I managed, I motivated, I navigated, I recommended. You know, in starting your action-oriented jobs or achievements, when it comes to when you created an idea, you came up with an idea, you can say, I planned, I performed, I originated, I displayed, I directed. Use action-oriented lines. Don't just say, don't just bring back the job description to the to the recruiter or your CV. Tell them what you did in quantifiable terms. If you don't have numbers, at least with action language, it shows how much of participation you were able to do. If you're a teacher who says your CV can also, you facilitated, or an instructor, you facilitated, you guided, you informed. These are some of the terms that you can use easily. Now, when it comes, like we have said, when it comes to CVs, you can tailor your CV to suit a role. You can and ensure that your CV, there's a fit. You emphasize your fit. So there's some of you here who are media gurus, but you are also customer service team members or client customer service representative. So if you are looking for a customer service job, you will emphasize your customer service experience. If you want to switch a bit and you think that, oh, they're looking for a media manager in United Nations, oh, who says it's not your customer service role that you will emphasize this time? It doesn't mean it will not be there, but you play up your media capabilities by using the language, by ensuring that you can defend what you have done. All right, so at this point, because I don't want to waste time at all, please resend the link. Please resend the link. Somebody's asking. I switched my phone, so you didn't see the link. Now, I'm not sure we are able to set up the poll that we wanted to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask at this point is we're going back to our CV review that we looked at the beginning. So for a rating of 1 to 5, I'm about to share each of these again. So yeah. So on a rating of 1 to 5, I'd like you to rate CVA before we move on to B. So I'm scrolling. Each person, just 1 is the least, 5 is the highest. 1 is the least, 5 is the highest. Let's have responses quickly. Everyone, I hope, can you see my screen? Let me hear you so that I know we are reviewing CVA.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, CVA review is on right now. Okay, somebody's reviewed it as, go on, one person has reviewed, please go on, and others, once we have about 5, we are about 11 here. Once I have about 6, we'll move on. That will cover half of the people on this call. Let's quickly do this. We'd like to, the plan was to finish up by 11:30, but if we, maybe 12 at the maximum, because this is very, very important to what you have come to do. 1 to 5, that is the rating. 1 is the least, 5 is the highest. Let's go on quickly. CVA. Thank you, Oluwaseun, for being the first to respond. Thank you. We're waiting for others. Folake, thank you. Yes, Abidemi, we're waiting for you. Alari, Amure, and let's hear you. Let's hear from you. Faith, Julius, Oluwasegun. Great, Faith, thank you. So, yes, 3.5, Julius, yes. 1 more to make us half, or 2 more. Okay, we are back on 11 now. To make us 3.5, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Can I have one more review and then we can move on? One more very quickly. Okay. Thank you. I will come back and ask the reasons, but I don't want to have too much review. We'll just do so CVB is going to be reviewed shortly. Just a second. Are you able to see the second CV now? Are we on CVB?
Yes,
This
ma'am. All right,
CVB.
ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so if we are ready, we can quickly CVB review. Sorry, Shegun, is that for A or B? Your review, is it for A or B? Okay, we are on CVB review now. Like us review CV. Can we quickly just review very quickly? I've not seen us drop. 1 is the least, 2 is the highest, 5 is the highest, 1 is the least, 5 is the highest. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Let's get this done and over with. Those of you that reviewed the first one, thank you. I'm waiting for the second review now. Oluwaseun, you did the first time, so go ahead and beat it this time around. Olufolake, we're waiting. Faith, John, Julius, and Shegun, Alice. Thank you. Amure. Yeah, 1.5. Yeah. Oluwaseun. So waiting for the others. Abidemi and Oluwaseun have yeah, 3 people already reviewed. Yes, Faith 2, John 2. All right, Oluwasegun 2. Thank you. So I think at this point we will move to the next one. We're tracking well this time around. Thank you for your response. This is CV. So this 2, I believe, is for once I put CVC review, we are done with CVC review. All right. So we are now in CVC review. Very quickly, thank you, Julius, for CVB review. We're in CVC review now. Quickly, this is Olufolake. I'm scrolling so that you see the CV. Yes, Olufolake's. Yeah. So, Abidemi, thank you. Shegun, thank you. Need quickly waiting. We did well in CVB review, so let's do the same. We have 3 more to go. Let's do this. Oluwaseun, Amore, Julius, thank you. Oluwaseun, waiting for you, thank you. 4.5. All right, thank you. So we have predominantly 4.5. This has been the best review so far. So CVD review. That's where we are going next, and I will share it just, is that, I believe that is for CVC. So I've deleted that. I'm going to For Amure, it must be CVC that you just did. So CVD review. We're in that section now. Just a second. I've not shared CVD yet. So CVD, here we go. And here we are, CVD. CVD, let's look at it quickly. Let's start. This is CVD. All right. Thank you, Bidemi. Oluwaseun, thank you. Waiting, one more to go after D. Yes, John, thank you. 333, averaged, yes. Waiting for about 2-3 more people so we can move on. Julius, yes, thank you, Faith. Julius, Shegun. Okay, Julius, thank you. Yes. We didn't get all the other people that did the previous one, but yes, that's fine. CBD review, we're good. Thank you, Shegun, 2.5. And the final one, CBE review. I would be sharing CBE shortly now. And there you go. CBE review. I believe you can see my screen. All right. CBE review 2, 2, 1. This, yeah, waiting for others. 2. Just phase 1. And one more. One more. All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's been very engaging and it's amazing how much we've been able. 3. Wow, this person got a good review from you, Julius. Maybe every other person. So if I go through, what we're going to do is the one that had the highest was our CBC, which had like the highest review. And between CVB and CVE, they've had the lowest review. The amazing thing is that these are real life CVs. They are not just cooked up CVs. They were things that came through for during just the way you sent your CV in. These people also sent their CV in to CV review, and we just downloaded from there to review just for. So I haven't learned a couple of things today. I'm going to share, of course, some of the templates, which is basically what you probably still see, what you'll be seeing. So what can you see now? Can somebody confirm to me if you can see something?
A CV template.
Yes, CV
All
template,
right,
we can
thank
see it.
you. CV templates. So there are several CV templates, and like I had said, which we had shared in the previous in the slides, the templates are available. You have to do the work of finding how to, because at times some people are good, they can create the templates themselves. Fantastic. But if you need help, the CVD that we saw, which is this, Olufolake's CV, it could have been created by her, but she could also have used an existing template. The document, the information in it is then customized for her use. So where do you find it? And we had shared some of those sources before. It's as simple as your Word document, going to new, then typing on, instead of picking a new, you just type resume, and you find some of those templates there. And you can give it to professional writers. Some people, maybe they struggle with how to write. And of course, this then become a paid service. This then become a paid service. And you can reach out if you want such. But the thing is, it is not really, it is your CV. You should be able to write it if you are comfortable with it, being able to express. So this is, for example, a simple template that was just called up. And you can see it's for like a business analyst. What's happened is the key competencies, for example, is a section that should work with an analyst, a business analyst, and you are able to quickly see what the person can easily do, which in some instances, some people use it as skills. They use it as skills. And the first section is the summary, like we had mentioned, some of the key sections that you need. Now, your experience. Another thing from this layout is that you see that the professional experience, some of those sections are highlighted in bold letters, the dates and everything, making it different from the summary of what the experience really looks like. If you may want to follow this, then before coming to the educational experience. Now, when you're an experienced person, your work experience should come before your educational qualification, because they want to hire you first for your experience. However, if you don't have so much experience yet, you can put in your your academic qualification before your work experience. You understand? But if you've got experience, then showcase your competence and your experience first. The second thing is always showcase your most recent job. Come from your most recent to your oldest. You are going to be giving work to the recruiter. If you started work in 2002, and then in your work experience, you now highlighted where you first worked before you now bring them to your latest work. No, it's not correct that way. Let them see your even if you're no longer working there, your last experience is the most relevant to your to the potential employer or the recruiter. So use it. And if you don't want to talk about your recent experience because it's not relevant, then ensure that you are able to use what is relevant in that instance. The work experience that is most relevant is what you should put closest. So as you can see, this also has some extra curriculum activities. Now, this is a different template, and this is a template that you may want to consider when you want to do like a one-page template, because it has like 2 columns. One side helps you to talk about your contacts or even a summary of your skills and everything, whereas the other one gives job experience and qualifications. You understand? So this comes in handy when you want to put a lot on one page. When you want to put a lot on one page. This is another colorful one. In this case, some templates allow you to put pictures. Now, I'm not a fan of putting pictures because it is the job that you want to sell, not your face. But if you choose to use the one that you want to put a picture, then please put headshot. Don't put studio session that you put your, you know, how nice you are looking. No, that is going to be a put off. Passport size or your head shots will always work in anything, even for international passports and all that. So if you choose to use the one with a picture, use headshots. Don't use beyond your headshots, all right? And you can put it in the template summarizing what you have done and how well you have what you can showcase. References are not mandatory, not nowadays. Now, this is, the last one is intentional. And the type of product that it is a product designer. So for example, if you're a creative director or a graphic artist or a graphic designer, you can pep up your CV. Just make sure that the writing's there, we can still read it. So a product designer, for example, who is responsible for UI UX, is expected to stylize a web page, make it active. So there's an interesting touch to this. It doesn't make it less if you use the regular template, but there's nothing wrong if you choose to, but you cannot be using this type of template when you are a, let's say, customer service professional. You are already taking the whole of this place for design, and then the person will just wonder, you can see in this design, the person has also used, you know, we talked about visualization, which is part of a product designer's job, you know, and creativity. So you brought it to life with your resume. That is like a summary of what the templates. And some, I mean, there are 1,000,001 template, but this is such like a guideline for your resume. Now, I'm going to go back quickly to this. And because some of you responded, Oluwaseun, you asked for, are you asking for templates or you drop templates here? Can you, what do you mean by templates? Oluwaseun, please unmute and respond.
Good morning. I dropped it when you asked what are we seeing on the screen.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'm just coming back to the message. So Oluwaseun, since you can speak, I want you to, and I think you were the first person to rate CVA, which is fantastic. So thanks. I will be going to CVA now, Oluwadamilare, and I just want you to tell me what you liked about the CV. In the light of all we have learned today, and you actually rated this CV 4, which is good. So can you tell me what you have seen that endeared you to this CV?
Okay, I can see that it's well aligned. The alignment is good. I love the fact that it's partitioned as well. Then you talked about the headings being in bold. So we can see that the years and the headings are in bold. So I think that's what I like about the CV. Alignment, well partitioned. Then the subheadings are in bold. Yes.
Okay,
fantastic. Then it's also aligned with the most recent comes before others as well.
The what?
Yeah. The most recent work experience is well arranged.
Okay.
Relevant work experience, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So indeed, for everyone that rated this CV high, it did. Of course, you can see also that this template is contemporary. It's not, it's you know, some people try to recreate some of these things by themselves, which is where they get it wrong. They now scatter it all. But the icons are there. It's nice. It's good to look at. You know, you can easily pick the sections that you want to look at a quick glance. Fantastic. Thank you, Sheil. So I'm going to ask Oluwasegun if you are there. And I think your rating for, I just want you to, did you rate CVs B? Let me quickly take a look. The people that rated CVB. Oluwasegun, yes, you rated CVB. You rated it 2. Why did you rate it 2? If you can speak, please unmute and share. Oluwasegun, are you able to speak? Okay. If Oluwasegun cannot speak, let me see who else rated CVB. Abidemi, you rated CVB 1. Abidemi, can you unmute? Are you able to unmute?
Good
Yeah, thank
morning.
you.
Can
Morning.
you go up? Let me see from up and see my reason I did that. Okay, it was the way it's been written. There's no space. The summary is not, it's too cumbersome together, the words and the way you wrote the skills. Then we go to the and then the experience. It did not quantify this thing. It's experience, it's achievement where you work.
All right. Thank you. So, I mean, it's very light. It's there. Not that the information you need is not there,
It's not there, but it's too light.
Yeah.
It's not really hefty like that.
And so maybe the person doesn't have experience. You know that some people don't have experience, but even without experience, you expect it to be
And
a bit
more, yeah, and to package the CV very well, because under his experience, he did not quantify his achievement there, like the percentage of like maybe he was able to help the students, how many percent, this and that. He didn't do that.
Thank you so much, Abideni. So maybe it may not be everybody that has percentage. Remember that this person it looks like a recent graduate. But first, one of the things, and I agree with you, thank you, this CV cannot be rated really high. It will not stand out for you. You know, the good thing, it has the information that is necessary. At least you can count the person. First, please, when you are also going to PDF or send your CV, if you don't need the extra page, don't put it. If they were going to print this now, this looks like you will be expecting that there was additional information at the next page, but there is nothing there. So do the due diligence. Do the due diligence, remove extra pages or your CV if it is not useful. If there's nothing there, don't put it. Just delete it off. You should be able to edit your CV that way. Number one. Number two is let it be friendly in look. So this it's just there, like you said. It's just there. Under the experience, so constantly checked, involved in, provided, worked, may have used action words, but was not.
One more thing, the experience, the digital marketing should come. Digital marketing should come first before the welfare secretary.
Exactly. Thank you. Because now, except for somebody that really took time, one will not know that is the first one that you will normally, and he says this is present, right? He's still working as a digital marketing person. And if I wanted to consider you as a digital marketer, I will look at you as welfare secretary first. So you should arrange it that the most recent should come before the oldest. That's another addition. Overall, this CV can be better. This CV can be better. Okay, yes, has some experience, but it can be better. Make use of digital tools like what and all that. Thank you, Bidemi. Thank you for the evaluation. So I'm going to CVC. And let's see. You can volunteer to, if you review CVC, let me see, before I call. Okay, so the people that reviewed CVC, I've called Bidemi. Shegun, are you here now? Or Julius? Julius, if you can unmute, please share. Shegun, all right, thank you. So go ahead. You rated this CV. This is CVC.
Okay. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm sorry, the service is somehow not stable here. So the last CV that I rated, I pressed 4, but it brought out 2. So sorry for that. I think it was the network. The last
No
CV
problem.
you talk about.
No problem, but you rated this one CVC, which you rated it 3. This particular one on the screen, can you see the screen? I hope the service is
Okay,
the service you're able
Olufolake.
to see. Yes, okay, so tell us about it. What do you like about the CV? What don't you like? Are you able to speak, Shego? Your network. Okay, we can come back later on another one. Julius, are you there? Julius, you rated this 4.5.
Okay. On this CV, I rated it that because of the way he put down the details, and we could see how, from the professional summary, how he, write it well. I don't know if, but just my own view, and it shows somebody with experience and somebody with education and product. And then when you look at the competency aspect, displays very well, arrange it. We'll go to the professional experience also. It shows that he makes a contribution to customer support in which he did. And starting from the present and down to the previous. So that is what I just noticed. Although the professional qualification there, he also did it well, but it's just that he could have started with the present, then go down to the lowest. So, but that is just what.
Thank you so much. And I agree completely. Everyone has rated. So even as you can all see, this is well aligned, very neat, easy to read. You know what you are looking for, what you are looking for. It's not stressing you out. And you will be able to easily know that, okay, this person has got or has not got. Now, there's something, I think it was said in the first session, that your CV will only get you invitation. No, it is you that have to prove your work by what you do and how you defend it. But you don't want to get disqualified just because of your CV. That's why you need to put a lot of effort on your CV. When you're not getting enough invitations for some roles, then that means the work of your CV may be hindering you. But when you get enough invitations, then you have to be the one to prove what you can do. So fantastic. Thank you so very much. And then CVD, Amure Tinuade, are you able to unmute? Or if I can call Olufolake? Or A. Badebo, any of these people, because I've not engaged you yet. So can you unmute, and one person can unmute and just review this? D? We have a few more minutes. I'm just going to say that this is a session that I think the last two did not rate very high. We've tried with the first 3. And with our response, I will just take it that we understand this last one, I think it's a bit muddled. This is CVE, got the least, one of the least evaluation. And considering that this one has experience, it's the first one that had low, that one did not have experience, but this one has experience, yet the evaluation is really low, which means he's doing himself disservice, because those people that he's supposed to carry his experience to, they will just disqualify him because he's not able to arrange himself properly. So on that note, I am just going to ask that, do we have any So just a second, let me just go back to what we were sharing. So now, on that note, we are about to round up. I think this is where we were. So any contributions, any comments? Before we finally round up, it was mentioned that we do trainings. I'm going to get the comments after. I know that a few people, and I'm trying to look at the time where, so our next set of trainings, can you see my screen, please?
Yes,
Yes,
I can see my screen, fantastic. So June is a full training, Fastract Academy is a training institution. We are going to be having major trainings in the month of June. And so it's back to back. And for those who were with us at the Lagos Career Fair, you know that we were happy to share some of, for those who are new graduates, recent graduates, graduate development program, which is a specific training that is developed for such to equip them with skills required to thrive in the workspace. And our sponsors, some of our sponsors in that period had shared that they will be supporting the session free. So we are opening the training for about 50 people, right? 50 people is the intention. So we would like you to share it with as many as you know that are interested, that would be interested. That's the second one on the screen, if you can see. It's going to start on the 6th of June. Please share the link, and it will also be available in the WhatsApp group and also on any of the groups where we are. John, if you are there, please share the graduate development program. All the trainings for the month of June are in the form. We are also having HR masterclass for those who want to be HR professionals. For those who intend to be HR professionals, as you see, our lead, our chief learning officer who spoke with you just earlier, the convener of Lagos Career Fair, is an HR expert. He's been in HR and does all learning and development and all that for over 2 decades. So HR and masterclass will be learning more about becoming professional HR practitioners. There's also, we have sales and marketing training, so you can do independently, and please feel free to share. Digital marketing training is the one that we are having on 4 Saturdays in the month of June. So these are the 4 trainings that we have highlighted for this season, and we are bringing it out here with massive discounts. If you are able to follow us on our social media handle, that would be amazing, because that then helps to show that we are okay. So I have a question here. I'm in a noisy place. What font was used in CVC? I will check. I can reconfirm, but even if I don't, I've seen some questions. I will come back to answer that now, just in a quickly. I'll come back to answer that. Please drop your questions since you're not able to respond. So the link for the trainings that we're having are there. The WhatsApp group sessions are also there. For the WhatsApp group link have also been shared, which you will be meeting this thing. And feel free to share it on your platforms and where you belong, so that we can continue to equip ourselves and the more. Now we are in the question section, so great. I have what font was used on CVC. I will check and get back. Meanwhile, so for Amore Tinuade, I want to ask for those of us who submitted our CVs for review during the Lagos Career Fair, will the CV be reviewed and feedback provided via our registered email? Now, can you send that now to us? Because there were so many CVs and we cannot review them individually, one after the other. It is from the pool of CVs that we downloaded some of these CVs. However, if you still want us to review yours specifically as of today, share it with us now. We will review it with you. Share it with us and we will review it with you. You can send it as a direct message to me and we will review it on this call. Okay, we are not going to rewrite the CV for you. We're going to review and then you can go and write, because when we have to rewrite it for you, even CV reviews come at a cost. So that is the difference. Okay, I hope, Amore, I hope you can hear me. Please confirm that you can hear me and you can share your CV now so that we can review it. Who else has a question or a comment? Please, quickly. I am about to go and check so Oluwaseun, you wanted to know what was used on CVC. Let me quickly take a look at that while we are still on the call. We were trying to, as much as possible, beat the 12 o'clock timing. So just give me a second. Let me confirm that to you. CVC. Okay. Trying to, it's something I need, because it's a PDF file. It's not something I can just click and give you an answer. So I need to take it to a Word and do a bit of check. But I'm trying to do that now. Do you have any other question while I answer the question about the fonts? Do we have any other question? This is the time to ask the question. It was Calibri. Are you there? Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. I heard you.
All right.
Calibri.
All right.
What about the size? Thank you so much.
Yes. So justice, size may be a bit difficult to ascertain, especially but I think between a 10 and a 12, which we had recommended, is the ideal, would fit. What I would say is at times, the volume of what you want to do determines how you space it out or so if you would use 10, that means you have a lot to write. But if you would use 12, that gives you a bit more room. And for those that have like those two columns where you have column A and column B, the font size in the column A, like I think that should have been CVD. Just give me a second to confirm that. So if you remember one of the templates that had like a section in this, okay, CVA that we reviewed at the first, that had the blue section. Remember, Sheon, the font size on the blue side will certainly be smaller than where the main one is. That's usually what happens, but it's still readable because there's room around it. So it is how you use it that matters. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. So, I mean, if you had any other if you want us to review your CV in this session right now, it's just something that you can share if we still have enough time. That's why we call this segment. And if you want to send us an email directly, you can then send to, we will know that, okay, this is outside of the CV reviews segment, which we have packed everybody together to review. You can now go back to CV review and drop us a direct message asking for a particular thing. We had almost over 100 CVs. So we have a question that says, is this GDP training online or physical? It's online. It's online. The last day would be physical because we will be giving you certificates. So that's the graduate development program for those who are young and fresh graduates within 2 years, all these necessary skills and all that. It's online. Thank you for asking, Faith. So on this note, do we have any other questions? Any other question? It's been a very insightful session. And Seun, please, you want to give us feedback if today has been worth the while, or Amure, someone? I'm calling because of especially those who were able to unmute. Abidemi, that's why I'm calling some specific names. I'm not leaving some people out, but I noticed that some people are able to unmute and speak, and some are not able, maybe because of where they are and their network. Olufolake, if you can speak, please. Anybody? Julius, so we would like to get feedback on the session today. So far, what you have taken out, if it's been worthwhile, and especially Lagos Career Fair feedback as well. We wanted to use that as an avenue for feedback. Yes.
Yeah, I think I would want to say something.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I was there physically during the Lagos Career Fair. It was mind-blowing, it was insightful, and I want to appreciate the organizers. You know, it's free and it was worth the time. Educational, so many things, so many nuggets, so many highlights during those sessions, right? Even though I know that the time, it looked as if a lot of things was, model up in a day. That could have been probably a week or probably 2 days training, but overall, we really got so much, or personally, I got so much value. And today, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I actually plan, crafting out my CV again, and I got so much value, and I would put most of what I've learned into good use. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. A quick question, though. How did you hear about the Lagos Career Fair?
I think there was a sponsor ad.
All right.
Probably on Facebook.
Okay.
A sponsor ad. Okay. I saw a sponsor ad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I mean, that's such a valuable feedback. And we would like to indulge that if you follow us on social media, do you follow us on social media? Because it would be great if you can drop this is what we call user feedback and generated content. It's not like we forced it out of you. It's clear that it's not like we lobbied the feedback from you. So it's something that we would amazingly appreciate if you can drop the feedback either on the WhatsApp. I suppose you are also on the WhatsApp group that we for the career fair, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes, I am.
please after the session, even if you don't go on social media, can you drop us a comment on the fact that it was a very useful session that you had? So for as many people that did not join or something, because we'll make the link available. All right, thank you so much. Any other comments? Any other feedback? Bidemi. Okay, Julius, thank you.
I'm sorry, I was struggling with trying to unmute myself due to so many things I was doing at the same time. Okay, so I would like to appreciate the organizers, particularly for this session alone, giving us this opportunity for this particular CV review. I have to go through my CVs again when I saw those reviews, and I see some few things to work on it, and I really appreciate those. Really eye-opening. And just by the question you were asking us to look at the CVs and the randomly ones you pick, and from there I was able to see, oh, this one is good. By just me looking at it, so this could be some things that we're seeing, or maybe we've not been taking note of, or maybe we've not been making more research carefully to see that, oh, we are not actually doing it right, or not, or we may not be necessarily picking a good or professional sample to use, arranging the information in such a way that it should be more clearly and stated and readable by the people you are trying to sell yourself to. Really want to say thank you for this session. And for the career fair, I was there and it was wonderful listening to the speakers. In fact, the speakers explaining their experience alone was really something that one needs to be inspired and take hold and challenge of. So the session we did again on meeting the recruiters and all of that, it was really good. So really want to appreciate it. It was wonderful. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Julius. Thank you. So like I had requested for earlier, if you are also, I suppose you are on the group, on the WhatsApp group for Lagos Career Fair, please
Yes.
after the session, let's drop comments around the around today's session, that's the CV review, but also pockets, because as you know, every element of this strengthens the fact that there is value. So the Lagos Career Fair as well as the CV review session. So if we had to redo it for those who did not, or if they had to come again to have another session or share the recording, it will be gladly shared. Thank you, Julius. So who's next? Who would like to give us feedback as we round it up? And we'll have our CEO come in to round it up finally. One more person, very quickly. So thank you, Julius, as well. One more person. I would be handing over to. I like what you said, Julius, and that's an eye-opener for everyone, which is very important. All of you could see, put yourself like a recruiter. If you had all these 5 CVs and they were all looking for the same job, you are likely to be attracted to the one that does not give you stress, because you have your stress already, everybody. And funny enough, it's not just systems. We mentioned the fact that there are applicant tracking systems. Keywords are very important. So you need to put in the right keywords so that when the system itself is sorting, like when you upload for LinkedIn and you customize your CV for a particular role, it will find the right keyword in your CV for the role you are applying for. If not, if it doesn't find the keyword, it will not shortlist your CV. It will not shortlist your CV, but bots are doing the work smartly. So find the right words, the keywords that sell you properly for the roles you are interested in. Thank you. One more person. I was hoping that one more person can speak. Abidemi, you've spoken today. Can I hear you speak again as we round up?
All right, good afternoon. I really appreciate this this CV review actually is an eye opener, and I've seen a little bit mistake on my own CV too, which I'll go and work on once we're done here. So I would like to thank the organizer. They really did a good job. Almighty bless them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We appreciate. So on that note, I'm handing over back to the CEO.
Good afternoon. It's afternoon already. And I think just in a jiffy, 2 hours or 2 hours plus already gone. We started this at about 10 o'clock and it's past 12 already. Okay. I'm excited that at least from the feedback from 1 or 2 persons, you found value in this session. That's the whole idea. So if we organize a session like this and we get 1 or 2 or 3 persons coming to say, oh, I find value in it, I think it has been worth the time spent. We would like to appreciate every one of you for your investment too. I always say the most important investment is time. If you've invested 1 hour or 2 hours of your time for this session and you've gotten 1 or 2 things out of it, then it's been worth the while. So we appreciate you. We thank you. It is for us to create the platform, but it's the most important thing, again, to have people come on the platform and value this platform. We have a lot of other plans we have for the year. Lagos Career Fair is just one of it. There are still 1 or 2 other things in the pipelines. There's a lot of training, the drawing board. There are 1 or 2 other activities, and like my colleague has mentioned, follow us, and as we fine-tune and plan out all of these programs, we'll be glad to have you in, and I will continue to create value. On that note, we'll be signing out. It's been a good time. Enjoy the remaining part of the day. Have a brilliant Friday. Have a good weekend. And let's continue to see ourselves win out there in the marketplace. Thank you so much. Have a very good afternoon. Bye.
All right. Bye, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.